What happened to this teenage boy walking through this school gym? He's captured here on surveillance camera, then disappears until...
Come to the lounge side's going out. There's a dead body out here.
17-year-old Kendrick Johnson was found upside down in a rolled gym mat last January. Investigators say he was reaching for a shoe, got stuck, and died.
We have found nothing to indicate this was anything other than just a tragic accident.
You could tell he was beaten.
Kendrick's parents believe the story about the shoe is a cover-up, and they question why sheriff's investigators either did not collect or test potential evidence from the scene. Got some questions about the Kendrick Johnson case.
I'm not going to discuss that with you.
Why not, sir?
Because our case is closed.
Kendrick's body was exhumed. His parents paid for an independent autopsy, and the pathologist found evidence of apparent non-accidental blunt force trauma to the neck. But it's also what the pathologist did not find that shocked the family.
Organs, the heart, lungs, liver, etc., were not with the body.
What was in the place of the organs?
Newspaper.
After months of protests and demands for answers, an announcement by the U.S. Department of Justice.
I am of the opinion that a sufficient basis exists for my office to conduct a formal review of the facts and investigation surrounding the death of Kendrick Johnson.
No matter who you are, how much money your parents have, the color of your skin, everyone deserves justice. Everyone.
Well, Victor Blackwell joins me now from Atlanta. So Kendrick Johnson's family exhumed their son's body, trying to get some answers about his death, only learned his organs were missing. I don't understand how the state investigation doesn't offer any explanations. I mean, somebody removed this young man's organs. Somebody's lying.
Well, they said that there was an investigation. You'll remember that we reported on this show back in early October that when Kendrick Johnson's body was exhumed for that second autopsy, his organs were not with the body, and that started this investigation 3 months ago. And I want to remind people which each side says. The Georgia Bureau of Investigation, which did the first autopsy, says they put the organs back into Kendrick Johnson's body, closed the body, sent it to Harrington Funeral Home. The funeral home says the organs never came with the body, but they take it a step further. The funeral home says that G.B.I., Georgia Bureau of Investigation, discarded the organs because they were destroyed through some natural process that Harrington still has not explained. But late today, we now have a copy of this letter that was sent to the Johnsons. It's from the Funeral Services Board. Only CNN has it. And I want to read just the line in the conclusion here. The board has exhausted all available investigative avenues at its disposal, and no determination could be made whether the organs were transferred to the funeral establishment with the body. There was this 3-month investigation, which by law is secret and behind closed doors. They just, at the end of the investigation, come out with what the decision is, and in this case, no action.
Well, I mean, the body was also stuffed with newspaper. So, I mean, again, somebody's lying. Either somebody who did the original autopsy didn't include the organs in the body, or someone at the funeral home did something with the organs and stuffed it with newspaper. I mean, somebody's not telling the truth.
Well, the funeral home here has never denied stuffing the body with newspaper, although we spoke with leaders of the industry at Mortuary Sciences, and they say either it's something they've never heard of or it's something that's not in line with standard practices. Now, the manager and the owner of Harrington Funeral Home, Antonio Harrington, would not speak with us on camera, but he allowed his attorney, Roy Copeland, to speak with us. And in the defense of the funeral home stuffing the cavity with newspaper, he cited a 25-year-old guide for embalming in which it suggests that when the organs are absent, you use sawdust or cotton. Now, that's a 25-year-old version. A more recent version got rid of sawdust. But here's my exchange in the months since this has come to light with that attorney, Roy Copeland. Watch.
I'm told we don't have that exchange. So
let me tell you what he said, though, because I have it here. Again, the book says either cotton or sawdust, and I highlight that newspaper is not one of them. He says it's absolutely not one of them, nor is it precluded as one type of foreign substance that may be introduced into a body for purposes of building up for display. Essentially, it doesn't say we can't use newspaper. And that's what the state says. It's not best practices, but it's not a violation. Again, with the newspaper, no action from the state.
So again, at the end of this investigation, in addition to his family not knowing how he died or why he died, they just got to accept the fact that somebody took out his organs and did away with them, even though they maybe had some relevance to the cause of death, and they're not going to get any more answers on that.
Well, you know, we spoke with several former members of the FBI, and asked, well, is it possible that there could be a third autopsy? You've got the competing ones from the state and the independent pathologist. Would the FBI want their own? It was possible, but now without the lungs that would have actually showed some evidence of positional asphyxia, which was the diagnosis from the state, or the tissue from the jaw, which was the diagnosis of blunt force trauma to the neck from the independent pathologist, it's no point in exhuming his body for a second time for that third autopsy. They'll have to rely on the reports and the photographs and the slides from those two pathologists.
Greetings. This is the Get To Free Press, and I'm George Austin Rise in Valdosta, Georgia. The KJ case, and Jacqueline, the parents of Kendrick Johnson, met with Judge Golden and Attorney Copeland, and I was in the courtroom, and I will have that video available sometimes tomorrow. I want to appreciate the people who are concerned about this case. But I just want to say that I appreciate Judge Golden allowing us to exercise the rights as citizens of this republic to have access to the courtrooms. In addition to that, I would like to also thank the attorneys involved for not denying us the right to bring the information to the people of Valdosta, Loudoun County, and the Kendrick Johnson family members who may have had to work today. But they can watch this video and they can see what happened. And as a retired military veteran, I believe that this is the best way to exercise the freedoms that we have in this country. And so I want to thank the Southern Judicial system here in Valdosta, Loudoun County, South Georgia, for showing that you respect the active duty, disabled, deceased, and retired military veterans. I also would like to see somewhere in the future that some judge or some governor or some attorney, if not a commander at Moody Air Force Base, would look into why there is no Georgia flag flying here at this judicial complex in Valdosta, Loudoun County, Georgia. And while they're at it, they may want to ask, why do we disrespect our active duty and those men and women in uniform? As long as there is not a Georgia flag, that is disrespecting our armed forces that serve this country, that put their life on the line. The same thing for city government at City Hall, the Valdosta, Loudoun County Museum, the city annex. I look at these places because as a veteran, I know that I've had people that died in Vietnam fighting for this country. And I believe that it is indeed a disgrace to everybody that wears a uniform when there is no state flag. If there is a natural disaster, we call on these men and these women to protect, to save lives, and to rebuild. And it's only right to fly the Georgia flag as all other states in the United States. I can't get around it. And I don't care if no other base commander in the state of Georgia, I don't care if any state legislator or secretary of state or attorney general, if they don't say nothing about it. I love your mothers, your fathers, your sisters, your children who serve in the armed forces, willing to die for this country as I was during the Vietnam era. I think that there should be a Georgia flag flown here over this judicial complex. Now, this is the Get To Free Press. Bye-bye. We gone.
Yes, Your Honor. Mr. Copeland and I had a discussion here in the courthouse, I believe, following the issuance of the court's order directing that mediation occur.
Well, let me interrupt real quick. I really did that at y'all's request, so no motion, Mr. King, from either party to exempt this case from mediation.
Well, and our position is this, Your Honor, is if Mr. Copeland is interested in having the discovery period reopened so that he can take whatever depositions and other discovery he feels he needs to have, we certainly will consent to that.
Well,
But
you all need
it
to
is-
work that out.
but
That's
it-
and I'll hear from Mr. Copeland, but you all need to be having conversations about that. At this point, according to your own plan, discovery is closed.
Judge, let me interject. I do want to reopen discovery, and if he's consenting, then I will agree.
Well, you have, in order to do this, so that the record's clear,
Yes.
there has to be a motion, and he has a right to respond and so forth. If y'all want to have a consent motion, you can draft it, send it to court, and I will look at it. But at this point, there is nothing.
I got that, Judge. But he has agreed, consented. I'm agreeing. I would think that on the record that would forego the need.
There is no record. This is not a formal hearing.
Well,
This
there is no,
yeah.
no court report. Well, we're reporting to the court. That's what we want to do.
Well, you need to put it in a plan and present it to the court, and I will take a look at it. But at this point, all that is pending is my order that neither of you comply with.
Okay, so I will then prepare the consent agreement and submit it to the court.
You both look, okay, y'all work on it, and I'll look at it.
Okay.
That's a fair thing to do.
Now, I'll address the mediation issue. I think by and large, Mr. King is right. There were overtures about trying to resolve this, and they were rejected. It has not gone to formal mediation for that reason, because the demand that I got was such that I didn't think it merited a response. So that's where we are with that.
Okay, well, I understand. Let me just go tell you that there's a court rule that the case has to be mediated unless exempted by the court. In order to ask for exemption, there must be a motion. There is no motion. But I will tell you, I am a trained mediator, and no, I'm not recommending or I'm not suggesting that I mediate this case. But I can't tell you as a mediator how many times you hear parties say, oh, this case we're too far apart, it can't be settled, and the case settles. That's what a mediator does, okay?
Well, Judge, to cut through the chase, I hear your message. It's a resounding one. I will agree to mediate this case. Let's just set a date.
So,
It appears that we're not going to get anywhere with this court trying to get it exempted, because I don't know if I can articulate a reason that this court's going to find to exempt it. So, Mr. King, I will agree to mediate the case.
all right, so gentlemen, this is your homework project. The next calendar call is March 1st. So in order to announce ready,
Greetings. This is the Get To Free Press, and I'm George Boston Rhines in Saunders Park in Valdosta, Georgia. I am here because a few people have gathered to prepare for a march. I see 3 police cars here, and I see about 25 to 30 people here. I don't see many people that I know from the religious circles of Valdosta. In other words, I don't see too many of the pastors. I don't see many lawyers or doctors or professional people here. I don't see many people that I know that are very prominent in the community. I see the mother, and I see some of the family members that have always marched with the KJ family. See one little young guy who'd always be with the family as well. And I just want to invite the people of Valdosta, if you please, to come out to the rally. I come as a media person. By the way, I don't see no news stations as far as TV. But, you know, we have learned over the years that we just do what we do, and you can come out, but the march will be getting on the way. I just thought I'd cut a video live. This is the Kendrick Johnson family march. As you know, KJ was found dead in January 11th, 2013, and that's nearly 6 years ago. It was 6 years ago. And after he was found dead, that night, the father, Kenneth, called me, and I went to his house, and I guess I've been in the mix ever since, in that I am under a 6-year criminal trespass for not doing anything. And I'm not going to get into that today. I just want to talk about the march. I invite you also to go to YouTube, Boston G.B.R, and watch some of my 8,000 videos on various issues across the United States. And I try to do what I do because you have a right to know without the White House. Once again, this is the Get To Free Press. I'm George Boston Rhymes. I do this because somebody must do it. We now know, we used to think about it, but now we know that we cannot depend on the white nor the black mainstream media, because they just will not report our story. And if you don't believe me, you can Google ValdostaWhiteoutMedia.blogspot.com. On my blog, not my YouTube channel, my blog. I've been blogging a long time, and I got a lot of letters to the editors and comments. Look here, y'all have a nice day. I gotta go. Peace be unto you. Kendrick Johnson march starting in a few minutes. Be here and not elsewhere. Peace out. Greetings. This is the Get To Free Press. Behind me is the march that is about to take place in Valdosta, Georgia, concerning the death of Kendrick Johnson, that died in Lowndes County High School January the 10th, 2013. The family continues to seek justice in that case, and of course police officers for the city of Valdosta is just getting lined up. And we are here because you have a right to know. And if no other news media cover the story, we are going to get it done because we love you and your children just that much.
Teach me how to operate a camera. I'm recording that. That's all.
Oh my God! God, come here! No, 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 no,
to fight back. Kendrick means we got to fight back. 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 Kendrick means we got to fight back. KJ means we got to fight back. Kendrick means we got to fight back. 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 We got to fight back. We got to fight back. What do we want? Justice. 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 And when do we want it? Now. And when do we want it? Now. And when do we need it? Now. And when do we want it? Now. And when do we need it? Now. What do we want? Justice. KJ means we got to fight back. KJ means we got to fight back. Fight back. Fight back.
No, right back. They don't believe in freedom. They don't want to see us free. They don't believe in freedom. They don't want to see us free. They don't believe in freedom. They don't want to see us free. They don't believe in freedom. They don't want to see us free.
Free. They don't want to see us free. freedom. They don't want to see us free.
They don't believe in freedom. They don't want to see us free. No justice.
No peace.
No justice.
No peace.
No justice.
No peace.
No racist.
Police.
Whose streets?
Our streets.
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 What do we want?
Justice.
When do we want it?
Now.
What do we want?
Justice.
When do we want it?
Now.
What do we want?
Justice.
When do we want it?
Now.
Indict. Convict.
Send up to the cops in jail. The whole damn system is guilty as hell. Indict. Convict. Send up to the cops in jail. The whole damn system is guilty as hell. Indict. Convict. Send up to the cops in jail. The whole damn system is guilty as hell. Convict. Send up to the cops in jail. The whole damn system is guilty as hell.
We got to fight back.
KJ
We got to fight back.
KJ
We got to fight back.
Kendrick
We got to fight back.
Fight back!
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 Fight back.
Fight back! We ready! We ready!
putting fists up on your timeline. They putting fists up.
No beef! No beef! We got to fight back! We got to fight back! We got to fight back! 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 We got to fight back! We got to fight back! We got to fight back! Fight back! Fight back! Fight back! Can't take it no more! Can't take it no more! We got to fight back! 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 We can't take it no more! 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 We got to fight back! 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 No peace!
No justice!
No peace!
No justice!
No peace! So what? So what? We ready! So what? So what? We ready! Go! We ready! So what? So what? We ready! So what? So what? We ready! Go! Cause KJV! We got to fight back! 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 Fight back! Fight back! Fight back! Cause KJV! We got to 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 fight back! Now! They don't want to see us free. They don't believe in freedom. They don't want to see us free. They don't believe in freedom. They don't want to see us free. They don't believe in freedom. They don't want to see us free. They don't believe in freedom. They don't want to see us free. They don't believe in freedom. They don't want to see us free. They don't believe in freedom. They don't want to see us free. We keep on singing. We don't need to stop it right now. We still can have our voices yelled up. We can still chant right now.
They don't believe in freedom.
They don't want to see us free. They don't believe in freedom. They don't want to see us free. They don't believe in freedom. They don't want to see us free. They don't
pray. It's a challenging time, but let's continue to pray. We got to break the backs down here in Valdosta, Georgia. We got to let these roads know that we're here to stay. Let them know that we're the new believers. We're the new voices of tomorrow. That we won't give up, we won't stop. Even though they got all the proof in the world, still they won't come out and tell the truth. Even though they got all the proof in the world, they still won't come out and tell the truth. But all the citizens right here, vote for all these citizens to represent us and not representing us. Because if they want to make a change down here, and then we see the city of Valdosta, where are you right now today? That's right. But thank God for all the ones that God said I'll bring them from the house where they want to come in. And we're grateful and we're thankful, but we got to continue to fight on. We got to continue to have our boots strapped up. We got to continue to raise our voice. If it takes our life, let it be that. God said, have no fear. He said, I got you. I got you. And like I tell them, the eyes of men can be blinded, but the eyes of God never close. So we're not worried about them, but they got away. They have no way. They have no way.